Just feel like it's more. It's
User
just to
friendly.
me. It just feel like it's just easier to be over here, to be honest. And yeah, it's more user friendly, and you got people. I just wanted it to be over here, basically. But other than that, here we go. This is episode 206 of the First and Framerates podcast. Myself, VF Baller, got DJ81 here. We're gonna have Bills in here earlier. DJ just left. I don't know why. Maybe he saw something that I don't know, but that's okay. So it's just gonna be me right now. Hopefully we can get some more people in here. I'm gonna let people know. Most people already know on YouTube that we are live or whatever the case may be.
I hit
So
the wrong button. I'm sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. I thought something happened, so I was like, okay, you ran off. So I know it's gonna probably get some more people kind of used to coming over here to do for the podcast. And so that's why I did stream yesterday to get everybody to let everybody know that we are going to be over here and we're going to upload the podcast on YouTube after the show is over. So today we're going to be talking about Kobe Bryant. He passed away a year ago. We're going to have a little thoughts about not only his passing, but how do we feel about his passing a year later with everything that's going on. The Super Bowl is set. We got Chiefs and Bucs. So we're going to talk about a little bit about the Super Bowl, how things stand now. They're going to be playing, in a week from now or whatever? No. Yeah, on the 5th. There's going to be almost 2 weeks from now. They're playing February. Is it February 2nd or February 9th? They're playing the Super Bowl.
Be the first
It's usually the first February of the
7th,
month.
the 7th.
Not, oh, the 7th. Okay. So it's the 7th. Okay. So it's basically almost 2 weeks away. What's going on, Optimus Group? Thank you for coming through. We're going to be on Twitch now live, but you can also find the podcast over there on YouTube once we're done. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about the Chiefs and Bucks, and also we're gonna talk about these developers versus management, because I think that's something that not too many people talk about much as far as game development. Most people really just talk about the management or whatever. I mean, they mostly just talk about the devs and not the management. And with that being said, it's really a problem because a lot of devs have their hands tied. And I think that's something that we really need to talk about, because outside of the sports gaming world, you got a few games out now that's dealing with that same issues. You got some developers being moved around. You got some developers that are basically getting hindered as far as development, developing a game. You have all kind of things going on with that. So we're going to talk about that. But without anything else, DJ, how have you been?
Well, I say this weekend has been a good weekend. I was telling VF earlier that I got a new desk. It's nice and spacious. I think I took a picture of it, and I think I posted it on Twitter, but I know I posted it on Instagram. I got everything set up nice and clear. The old desk got moved over, and now what occupies that desk is my old monitor. I have yet to set up the old computer, like the old PC, and that will occupy that old desk. But this new desk, I swear, and it came with some gay ass stickers originally, and I didn't put those stickers on there because this desk is all black, has a carbon fiber look to it, and
So you kind of got one. I got one like that too. It's a carbon fiber look on the
on the surface.
on the surface, and I got a cup holder here, and I got a headset holder there.
We probably got the same exact one
Yeah, we probably do. You got
because
to show
I had the
me.
same head setup.
Send me the link of what you got, and I'll tell you exactly the one that my wife bought me for Christmas, because it sounds like that's the one that you got.
Yeah, this I think.
But it's a pretty slick desk though. It's really
Oh
nice.
yeah,
I love it.
it looks real nice. Does it have the little indentation in the front where it like
Yeah,
folds?
the indentation right here and it
Yeah, we
curves
got
in.
the same. We got the same exact
It's
desk.
a damn shame. We got the same desk. We damn near got the same. We damn near got the same chair. Like, what are we doing here? And people may not even know. A while back, when we got our 4K TVs, we got the same 4K TV. That's crazy. That is nuts. And hey, I'm gonna let y'all know that's not coordinated. None of that was
That is
coordinated.
nowhere near coordinated. That is definitely by coincidence. We just happen to be on the same wavelength.
Right. Um. one more time, Bill. I'm talking about Bill's. I'm typing Bill's name. Let everybody know your Twitch channel real quick, because I'm about to put a banner up.
What is that? Bill's in the chat or?
No. I want you to let everybody know your Twitch channel, because I'm about to put it up in the banner.
Right, actually, it's right there in the chat. It's EVO325.
Okay, you put it in. Okay, cool.
No,
cool.
I didn't put it in. That's what pops up.
I forgot. We're on Twitch now. I forgot. We're on Twitch. I forgot.
All right. So we already going to deliver the first L on Twitch goes to VF. We kind of
because I'm totally. I totally forgot that we are on Twitch. That is totally my fault. See that it's and I don't want to been promoting this for a while, and I still can't get it right.
That's why you got the L.
It's crazy, right? Hold on, what did I do? Did I mess that up?
Oh boy, is another L on the way?
No. It's a banner that I thought I put up, but I didn't put it up yet. Good, because it's misspelled. Because there was a banner I'm about to put up.
That would have definitely been like a minor L.
Yeah, I definitely was going to do that. So we're still getting the kinks out over here as far as us doing the podcast. And clearly, I'm the one that's making all the mistakes.
Oh, but, trust me, I'll probably make a mistake here.
Yeah, I'm so used to being on YouTube. I totally forgot. But nevertheless, Bills is here. Bills, are you willing to speak or let everybody know what's going on with you? Because I know you're on mute.
Why make it sound like I'm under hostage or something? Am I willing to speak?
No, because your camera's not on. You're on mute. I was kind of worried. Like, okay,
because I'm eating. That's why. Because VJ's like, oh well, we eat on the pod. I'm like, fine, whatever. It's all there.
Drinking right now.
So, well, that's sponsorship. That shit don't count.
Well, it's not sponsorship until I show it. There you go.
There you go. I'm here. I'm just eating and waiting to roast people. So don't mind me.
He's got a list.
Okay.
And apparently, I had a request to sing tonight. Apparently,
as long as it's not copyrighted music, which I'm sure it's your own stuff.
I mean, it shouldn't be a problem if he sings it, right?
It shouldn't be a problem if it's acapella. It shouldn't be.
I'm about to say, I don't think Twitch is that sensitive, is it?
No, I think Twitch is that sensitive. Remember, y'all were getting. I know we were on YouTube last time, and I started to hum something. You was like, "We try to get us all banned off of YouTube."
But yeah, that's YouTube. But look, Twitch, I never had a problem with Twitch, so I don't know. I mean,
yeah, Twitch has a stricter algorithm from what I hear, so I would be careful. But if you sing your own tune, then that's fine. I'm like, it's your stuff.
I had a song request, so I can't just sing my own shit when somebody.
Right. You did. Yeah, I do remember. What was the song again?
Can You Stand the Rain?
Oh yeah, okay.
That's and I'm not singing the whole damn thing either, motherfucker. Yeah,
just
pay for that.
Just sing the was it the second? I guess the second part of it. That's the part that really hits. So we're gonna challenge you on that one.
So I don't know if you got the title yet, Bills. We're gonna be talking about we're gonna talk about Kobe. You know, he passed away a year ago. I think it was today. I think it was today.
Today.
And then you're gonna talk about the Chiefs and Bucs. You know, they're going to the Super Bowl. We're gonna dwell into that a little bit because
Carlos was gaming from this couch.
Sorry, I got an ad when I was logging into the fucking stream on Twitch. I'm like, fuck is this ad?
Oh yeah. I forgot about the ads. And we also gonna talk about suits versus devs. Basically, we're gonna talk about not necessarily versus like one against another. We're just gonna talk about how things are when devs basically have their hands tied. Because I didn't say this earlier, but you look at a situation like Cyberpunk, and we know the story about that now. And you talk about like what's going on with Diablo 2. I mean, we rarely talk about that game, but you see with Diablo 2. They're just taking dev from another game and try to get them to fix that game. Also, another game we didn't talk about, which is rumored, Resident Evil 4 probably having developer issues too. So we can dwell into those three, and I guess we could tie it back into the sports games because a lot of people look at the devs as the problems, but over the years we pretty much know what the real problem is. You know, the guys over their head is making them do all this other stuff like SpongeBob and all these other crazy things like the yard and and extra stuff like Superstar Care. You kind of see what I'm saying. It's a lot of stuff going on that's not necessarily the guys who are designing the games. It's not their fault, and it's been trickling outside of sports gaming for a very long time. But I guess it's we can touch on it a little bit. So Bills, I know DJ did his intro. Bills, you could do yours, and we could just go ahead and get started.
Yeah, I had a pretty decent weekend. I enjoyed both of the games. They were competitive games for the most part. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I enjoyed the weekend and enjoyed the games, and I'm excited for the Super Bowl. So let's get into these topics.
All right. So I guess we can talk about. We just go ahead and get into it. Let's talk about Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant passed away in a tragic helicopter crash a year ago today, and it's really been overshadowed by a lot of things that happened since then. But when you really look at it, and if you look at the hindsight 2020, you really could look 2020. You could really think about it like that possibly could have been the real beginning of a shitty year, and that's what it pretty much ended up being. But with the passing of Kobe, like I said, it was really overlooked. Not too many people really talked about it throughout the year of 2020 because of COVID, and you saw everything that happened with the injustice of police officers. There you go, George Floyd, and you see other people that's coming out with Breonna Taylor's case, and then all the stuff about the kneeling on outside of the NFL. It was just so much stuff going on. Kobe Bryant was basically put on the back burner, and it's kind of jacked up that it happened that way. But this 2020 was a year that I don't think that hopefully that we'll never see again. Nothing like that. It was crazy. But DJ, I'm gonna let you go first. How do you feel about Kobe's death a year later, and does it? I mean, I know this is a cheesy question, but how does it affect you when you look back on it?
Well, I'm an obsessive person when an event like that happens. I remember a car accident I was involved in that somebody lost their life in. I was constantly online trying to research everything about that person that passed away because I feel that we're all connected in some form or fashion. So when it came to Kobe, I literally was online looking up like, okay, do they have pictures of the crash? Okay, what were the weather conditions? What who was on board? And checking out the reports. I remember initially they said that Rick Fox was on board, and Rick Fox was like, no, I wasn't. So that kind of like affected his family and his things. But the more I kept looking in, the worse it got. It was like that rabbit hole of digging and digging and digging until I actually saw the crash sites, that pictures that were uncensored. So it's still troubling to this day because it all could have been avoided. The weather conditions were what they were when it happened. Before it happened, the pilot thought he could navigate through it. It kind of reminds me of another situation where where aircraft, whether it's like a private jet or a helicopter, flies too low in a weather situation, whether it's fog or lack of visibility, and they either crash into the side of a mountain, in which in this case that's what happened with Kobe. And we talk about Kobe, we also got to talk about his daughter, and also there were other people on board that totally get thrown to the wayside. There were several other people that lost their lives. Their families were affected by the whole thing. So it's almost like I mourn for Kobe. I mourn for his daughter, mourn for his family, but I also mourn for the others that lost their lives in that helicopter crash that honestly could have been prevented. So it just troubles me because it could have been prevented.
Yeah. When you look at it back, back on it, yeah, it absolutely could with the weather and how things played out. It was a really tragic thing, but I'm not going to get into my spill yet. I want to know what Bill's think, because he's more of a basketball guy than me and you, DJ. So I want to know how it affects him. Bills, how did this death affect you, and does it impact you a year later?
I mean, when it first happened, it was more so shock. It took me a couple of days to even process the fact that it happened. Honestly, it was surreal. It's like, you see him on Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes' podcast just a couple of days ago, and then he passes away, and it was almost like one of them things where you're hoping it's a hoax. Oh, somebody's doing some bullshit and making up a story, and then you find out that it's true, and it's just like, really, like this. It's like, it's crazy. So it's like, it's shit you can't even imagine. So, I was good for the first couple of days. I was just kind of more so in shock, but then, like, I remember I took a drive and I just, like, broke down. Like, it just came out of nowhere, and I was just crying. I'm just like, this is crazy.
Right.
And it's one of them things where you think you're good until you find out that you're not really good, and you've been holding in emotions that you didn't really even realize you were holding in. And then again, when his funeral was on TV and they played the Dear Basketball video, which I had never even heard before, and then I broke down again because it was just crazy.
It was no way. I didn't even watch it. I couldn't even watch it.
I tried my best not to, but it was something that I felt like I just kind of had to. It was obligatory for me, and everybody breaking down, it was just sad. But then, once they started playing that video, Dear Basketball, and it sounded like eerily as if he was like saying goodbye to all of us and not basketball. And that's when I just broke down. A year later, I'm good. It still sucks. But I remember him more for the person he was and the basketball player that he was, and all the information that's come out about all the people that he's helped and inspired since then kind of brings more so joy than pain at this point. So that's where I'm at, honestly.
Yeah, my thing is, for me, Optimus Goose says, I did the same thing, DJ. I watched vids on YouTube trying to make sense of how it happened. I took a time, like, while I was in college, I worked at an airport, and I kind of know how these things go. When I used to work for United Airlines for a brief moment while I was in college, so I kind of know how this thing work with the weather and everything, getting planes off of the tarmac and on the runway and stuff. So I know how things go with that. Helicopters are a little bit different, but once I found out that the weather was involved, it was either one or two things. It was like the weather just surprised them, or the pilot ignored. And come to find out, it seemed like that's what happened. The pilot basically ignored what happened. Because, like, weather just don't shift that fast to something happen. Yeah, you have wind gusts and stuff like that happen, but it doesn't shift to the point where any aircraft is just going to fly straight into the side of a mountain or something like that. It's just not going to happen. So the weather was bad, and it come to find out the pilot was being negligent, and it kind of sucks. But when I found out, my whole game room was upstairs at the time, because that's where it was, and it came across the wire on my phone, and immediately I thought it was some website that was playing around. You know what I mean? Like, you get, like the media takeouts or this, that, and these funny websites that be saying stuff. You're like, all right, this is okay. Who sent this to me? And then I think, like, right after that, I got another notification that it came from Yahoo Sports, and that's when it immediately hit me. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, how did Kobe pass? And I was just in shock. So what I did, I came downstairs and I showed my wife, because she was, just because I was just in awe. I was like, I want you to look at my phone, and she looked at it. She was like, wait a minute, is that real? And it, to this day, for me personally, to this day, I still feel like it's unreal because of everything that happened in 2020. Like I said, Kobe's death was kind of swept under the rug, especially after the funeral that was at Staples Center. After that, nobody really said much about it. I mean, it kind of was brought up when NBA 2K21 did their thing, and even when basketball came back after, them taking time off and everybody went down to Florida, there wasn't much talk about it. And people were just more worried about playing actual games. And it's not any disrespect to Kobe or anything. It's just that it was so much going on. It was kind of like an afterthought, almost to the point where when it was mentioned, you'd be like, wait a minute. Kobe's gone. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, like I said, to this day now, I still feel like he's here because, yes, it was a big impact because of who he was and how and what happened. But it's like the way 2020 played out with so much going on and all the stuff I mentioned about 2020, we didn't even talk about the election. We didn't talk about that. So that's extra stuff that was added that was extra stuff that added on to the year. Unknowingly, Kobe's death was an afterthought. That's why sometimes when I thought about putting it on the titles of this podcast, I was thinking like, I still take it back sometimes, like thinking like, wait a minute, Kobe's really not here with us anymore, because I don't think any of us really had the chance to process it. And it's not because we just forgot about him. It's just like it was so much that went on last year. And it was like nobody really, outside of his family, I'm pretty sure Shaq and Shaq's family and other people that was close to him, they were able to process. Even the basketball world was like, not just about just the world in general, is like, they're always coming through thinking it hits them hard every time because you don't think about it because so much have happened. And I think that's probably one of the things that we're probably going to be dealing with for maybe the next few years. It's still hard because of what happened on top of everything that happened in 2020. So, but to me, it's like, today, I'm like, somewhat in denial, but I understand it. But it's still tough because I don't think any of us, regular fans, had the chance to process it because so much happened last year. Spec Pooh said it's been a full year and I'm still in denial that he's gone. See, I totally can understand that. I can understand that. Antonio Wilson said, I was shocked when my brother texted me about it. Yeah, we all were. I was shocked when I found out about it. But like I said, I think it's where, if you're caught off guard about it, you can still be shocked about it. I feel that sometimes. So I don't know.
It's funny because the way I found out, my sister texted me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, stop playing. This is a joke.
Right.
And then that's when I went on Twitter and I was like, oh, shit. Really? I'm like, just to relate to another superstar's tragic death, it still kind of hits me the way Sean Taylor's death hit me. Well, he was murdered, basically. So
right.
It was just like, and it was thoughts that at the last second, I think his was more stinging to me because there was hope that he was going to make it. Like last week, we heard about him that November weekend was that, oh, he blinked or he squeezed somebody's hand. It was like, oh, it looks like he's going to make it. And then the next morning, Sean Taylor has passed away.
Right, and then you think about it, he got shot in the leg. So you wouldn't think that it was something. You wouldn't think something like that would happen. It was really weird how he ended up passing. Because when you hear about anybody getting shot in the leg, you be like, you have that big artery right there in your thigh, but you still wouldn't think if somebody got shot in the leg, you'd be like, okay, they're going to make a recovery. He may be out for football for half a season, and he's going to be back. But, there it is that artery there, and, there's a chance that it could get hit. But 9 times out of 10, when you think about it, you don't think it's going to happen like that.
And then on top of that, just my specific background, because just like BF has his background with aviation, I have a background in aviation when I was in the Air Force. I actually dealt directly with aircraft. I was a radar surveillance tech. So when it came to weather, we know what's going on, and we direct traffic the best way we know how. They have specific flight rules that they have to go by. We give them instructions. They have to follow it. If they're not following instructions, we get on them about it. So I would definitely say that was pilot error. Like he thought he could make it. And they said, I think the clearance was if it was another 8 feet, he would have cleared it.
He would have cleared it, right? So it was, yeah. So it was all like he felt determined to do so, and maybe it was probably just best for them to wait maybe another hour or so before they took off.
Just to add another thing, it's just like, see, this one wasn't weather related. When Aaliyah died, the pilot allowed all that luggage to be put on there, knowing
weight and balance.
Beyond the
weight and balance is a huge deal when you're flying. There is a really big deal. It's like when I was working for United Airlines at the time. That was one of the biggest things we worried about when taking off, because the weight of the planes that we did the smaller jets, so all the luggage was in the back and the passengers in the middle, and the pilots. But the weight that the luggage had to be at least balanced enough for the passengers. If not, it can go down. And like you said, that's exactly what happened. So it's really weird. Pooh also says, if this felt like when Michael Jackson died, I think Michael Jackson, once we figured out the circumstances of Michael Jackson, we kind of, I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, because I think he was murdered.
Right, yeah, it's like when we learned about Michael Jackson, we knew his situation, but that doctor was a little bit on the...
Yeah, he was being a little shady.
Right, exactly.
That's what I'm like. This, and all of a sudden he was out for the count. Like, what?
Right. See, exactly what Optimus Goop just said. He said, it's crazy. All the other flights are grounded due to the fog. Kobe pilot with the head. Exactly what we said. It's like, it's not necessarily because there was two things that could have been a possibility. The wind or the weather just went wildly, erratic at the last second, or the pilot felt like he can go. And that's basically what happened. Yeah. So, unfortunately, everybody, passed, even the pilot did. And you think about it, sometimes it's like, what if, or what should have happened, and this, that, and the third. And you don't want to do that. But when you look at things like this, it's like, that's the only thing you can lean on. And you don't want to keep thinking like that, because it gets depressing after a while. Just thinking like, oh, what if this happened? What if that happened? It's like,
Well, I'll tell you what, it did start the year of hell.
Yes, it did. It definitely did. And like I said earlier, I was like, what if, like, we look back on it, it's like, was that really the precursor to, like, thinking like, okay, this is going to be a shitty year? But what everything happened once, Rudy Covert, Covert, not Gobert, when he started touching everything and the virus went across the whole NBA, the whole country just shut down. And after that, to be quite honest, nobody really, and it sucks, but nobody really thought about Kobe like that, to be honest. I ain't gonna say not nobody, but social media as a collective, the society, the media as the regular media as collective started worrying about this virus and how the president is handling it. Nobody thought it, like, Kobe was an afterthought, and it sucks, but I think that, like I said, that's one of the reasons why we still are in shock when we think about it, like, oh shit, because not many people, with all the stuff going on, we never really got to process it properly anyway. Anything else y'all want to add to that before we I don't want to get into the Super Bowl picks, but we can at least talk about the two teams. Y'all got anything y'all want to add about Kobe before then?
Nah.
I would say, just to add on to what you said, VF, it pretty much, social media society, we're narrow-minded when it comes to events. We never put them all together. So like, yeah, Kobe was this point, and then what was it? Impeachment was this point, and then was this point, and it was kept going like this. And now it's just like, now that things have kind of calmed down a little bit, we're like, oh shit.
Literally, you right. Literally, that's another thing we didn't even talk about in 2020. There was an impeachment trial. The whole thing with Nancy Pelosi ripping up the State of the Union address, that was a big deal. Like, it's so much happened in 2020. Like, we just named like 4 things that we didn't even talk about in the beginning. The election, the quote unquote election problems with mail-in voting. It was so much in 2020. Like you said, the tunnel vision and the blinders of events Kobe was put on the back burner, and I mean it's not because of we just didn't care. It was just so much stuff that happened. It was just crazy.
Yeah, and now this year we start off with another impeachment for the same person.
Right.
You're not even president anymore.
You know they trying not to make sure he don't run again.
I swear the dick sucking on CNN now because Biden's in there. It's crazy. It was like an overnight switch. It was like as soon as he got inaugurated.
That's what happened. That's what happened when a real black man gets in office, right? He gets inaugurated.
Oh no! Jesus Christ! Inaugurated.
Hey, let's go to the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah. We're
gonna get ran off Twitch the first day, right?
They're like Biden got inaugurated, but Kamala Harris got inaugurated.
Right, exactly. We can get ran off of Twitch the first day, man. We need to chill. All right, what are we talking about? The Chiefs and Bucs. Bucs are going to be hosting the first Super Bowl ever. It's going to be in their stadium. That's pretty neat.
That Dallas tried to do some years ago, where it was like, "Yeah, we're hosting the Super Bowl. We're going to be right there," and they missed the playoffs, I believe.
Yeah, so. they think they're going to be there every year. Jesus Christ.
Their fans always talking shit.
Always. Week 1, preseason, week 1, they're already talking about Super Bowl. Like, it's crazy. The Chiefs, very talented team. They're like a well-oiled machine. The Bucs defense have been playing pretty good thus far throughout the playoffs. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. I'm going to touch on him in a little bit, but
yeah, I was about to say.
I'm gonna touch on him a little bit, right?
You walked into that one, bro.
I like that one and that two. I like that one and that two on the back of your jersey. What does that really mean?
On it too.
What does that really mean? No. So we're gonna talk about Brady in a second, but as everything stands right now, Antonio Brown is still hurt. We don't know if he's gonna play. Probably will. I don't see that he doesn't. But I'm not really making any picks per se, like our final picks. But how do y'all see this matchup? What do you think, Bills? You go first. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, Bruce Arians already put some bulletin board material out there by basically announcing that they're going to try to slow down Tyreek Hill. Well, thanks. I mean, he scored 3 touchdowns last time, so kind of goes without saying. I don't think the Chiefs can stop the Buccaneers' offense even without AB. But the question is going to be how are the Chiefs going to show up? Or how are they going to deal with not having their 2 starting tackles? Eric
Fisher's out. Yeah, Fisher's
injury, out. And their other tackle, who I forget his name, has an injury too. I don't think either one of them are going to play.
Right.
So when you have to deal with JPP, you got to deal with Sue in the middle and double team. That's going to leave a void. And if Todd Bowles is smart enough to not blitz, which he's not been doing the whole postseason, and they've played great, then we'll be all right. I think you double Tyreek Hill, you keep one safety high, you funnel Travis Kelce to the middle, and you might be able to slow them down a little bit, make somebody else beat you. All that misdirection they run before the snap is cute, but when you have sideline to sideline linebackers, some of that stuff gets shut down. So we'll see what happens. Just don't run zone. We've seen it too much.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts, DJ?
Before I get there, admin. We don't have for Twitch. We don't have a place where they can look at the description and check out the link. I don't think so.
No, there's a link on the Patreon. That's why I had to change it. Yeah, there's a link at the bottom of Twitch.
Okay, I just want to make sure. All right. Okay. As far as this game is concerned, yeah, they are going to have a hard time, I think, slowing down Tyreek Hill. But like Bill stated, what he also didn't mention, and he mentioned this before last week's game, was that Patrick Mahomes has turf toe.
Yeah, he does.
So if and everybody understands turf toe is a very serious nagging injury. Like you can play on it, but
gets progressively worse, not better.
Right.
If you're playing on it.
So you have those issues at tackle for the Chiefs, and you're talking about Mahomes, who's used to comfortably scrambling around, which we saw last week. He was struggling a little bit. I'm like, he got used to it. It may not be as bad as what I saw with Antonio Gibson on the Washington football team, but whatever they're going to do for therapy, they better make sure it's good because he's going to be doing a lot of scrambling, a lot of running around. He's got to watch out for what's his name in the middle linebacker. That's going to be spying on him. At the same time, being able to, you want to talk about a linebacker, Smith, that's just going to be playing double duty. He's going to be spying the quarterback, meanwhile playing the middle guy for anybody who funnels Kelce in the middle. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I do see Todd Bowles may throw a blitz here and there. I don't think he's going to just stay back the whole entire game. I think it'll be one of those issues where if he has a shot to get after Mahomes, and get him, he'll send somebody. He'll probably send the safety for all I care. So, but with Kansas City, their thing is get the ball out of his hands, get the ball out of Mahomes' hands. Don't let him hold on to it any longer than he has to. Get the ball into the hands of the playmakers and let them do the work. I think it could be a shootout the way this game is going to go. So
what's interesting to me is that the Bucs just faced a team last week that invites you to run man. They want you to run man. Packers want you to run man. They don't want you to run zone. They want you to run man. It's all in the route concepts, right? The Chiefs don't want you to run man. They want you to run zone. And that was the issue with the Bills this past week. They ran a lot of zone. Kelce was just sitting down in the zone, boom, makes a catch, breaks a tackle, all of a sudden it's a 20-yard gain. You keep doing that over and over and over again, you're marching down the field. If you're playing
I found that funny too because I was thinking if this was the Bills defense from last year, it would have been a much closer game. But for some reason, that defense from last year is not the same defense from this year because that Bills defense last year was very good.
But I thought, I'm like, look, put Micah Hyde or Jordan Poyer on Kelce and man up. Make these dudes beat you.
Right.
Make Sammy Watkins and Hardman beat you and man. Tyreek Hill may beat you, but if you double him, you're going to eliminate him from the game. They're going to try to force it, right? They're going to try to force a pass to him deep because that's what they always do when they can't find him early. They start to force things. And I wish that more teams manned up against them because the Bills just let them dink and dunk down the field. And one missed tackle turns that into a huge gain. Then by the time all the misdirection started getting run, it was over by that point because they had him just thinking, well, shit, we're in zone. And once he gets to the second level, they're going to man up and boom. And that's what happened. They hand it off. They're in zone, so they're backing up into their zone. Boom, the lineman gets to the second level. You have to run man against Kansas City. People think in their head, no, you shouldn't run man against Kansas City because of their speed. But no, you have to run man because if you give them free releases the way they were getting, that's when Mahomes, even if he has to roll out of the pocket, he's going to find somebody.
So Optimus Goo put in the chat right here. He said, "Did the safety that hurt his shoulder? Is he out for the Super Bowl? Do you know?" Hold on, I'll be right back.
I'm not sure. There were two of them actually because Winfield didn't play, and I think what's the guy's name? The other safety got hurt too. I'm not sure if he's out. I'll have to check the injury report, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But I mean, look, if you're doubling a guy, the safety isn't really the priority there, right? Because you're just doubling him. You're just making sure that he doesn't beat you deep. You're kind of bracketing him in a way. So if they do that with Tyreek Hill, that's the thing.
It's Jordan Whitehead, yep.
So my thing is what Kansas City was doing, when the Bills ran man, they would just basically try to get Tyreek Hill to streak on a crossing route
No, I was going to say, also the X factor has been the X factor this whole entire playoffs with Tampa, and that's their run game. Yeah. The Chiefs, we talked about this, what was it, last year, about the Chiefs being able to stop Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason they stopped him is because what's the name decided to go with the pass more and just outsmarted himself. I see that Kansas City won't be able to stop this run game.
And the other issue with the Titans is, I don't know why they did this and they chose to do it against the Chiefs. I don't know if they underestimated them. That was one of the few times the Titans literally just lined up and ran it. There was no play design. It was hand the ball to Derrick Henry and run it. There's no misdirection.
Like run for daylight.
There was the zone blocking. It wasn't really zone blocking. It was hat on a hat. And they have a pretty good front. Now, the Bucs have the offensive line that can line up and just run it against you. They don't need to run it out of shotgun. They don't need to run it out of passing formations. They're very unapologetic about how they run the ball. The Chiefs are the opposite. The Chiefs run the ball out of passing formations, and they run play action out of those passing formations too, where you think it's a run because it just worked, and then they loop it over your head. A lot of that shit, it's all misdirection. They try to get you flowing one way. It's like, it's easy for me to say, obviously, because I'm not the one making a game plan, but at the same time, like, having watched them since Mahomes got there, a lot of the most important parts of their plays happen before the snap.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to stay disciplined. And the thing is, when you have athleticism, it's one of them things where you don't have to over account for all that motion before the snap, which is a good thing. So I think the Bucs can at least hold them to 27, and I think the Bucs can put up more than 27. So I think they have a chance of winning. People saying the Bucs are going to get blown out. The only way that happens is if the Chiefs, if they spot the Chiefs 14, then yeah, of course they're going to get blown out. The Chiefs are the best front running team. And it's not an insult, but they're the best front running team. When they have a lead, they don't really give it up. But if it's 7-7 going into the second quarter, or if the Bucs get out 14-zip, I don't see the Chiefs just reeling off drives without the Bucs responding. I don't see that happening. So
I'm gonna look at it like this. I don't have a dog in the fight, obviously, but I think this game is gonna be a shootout. The only way it doesn't be a shootout is if the Buccaneers defense play like they did in the second half of the NFC Championship. They played very well. Got a few stops. They made Aaron Rodgers look frazzled a little bit. And Aaron Rodgers didn't have a bad game. It's just that the way they got those turnovers back to back to back. Tom Brady, I don't think what happened to Tom Brady with the 3 interceptions, I think Pooh just talked about that. I don't think that's going to happen again. But I think Brady will probably give up 1, and that's just being generous. But I don't think he's going to throw 3 like he did in the second half. I don't see that. But the way that front 7 of Tampa Bay played, that's going to be the difference in this game. If they can't get pressure, it's going to be a shootout. I'm looking at maybe almost to the point where, remember what was that game? Was it the Rams and Chiefs? when it was like 51-48 or something like that. It was one of those
during
games
the
like
season.
that. Yeah, I can see something like that, but it's gonna be a little bit on the smaller scale, probably like a 39-41 game, 44-41 game. If that front seven of the Buccaneers can't get anything, can't disrupt the Chiefs' offense, which is a really tough task. But I don't have too much faith in the Chiefs' defense. I never really did.
Well, here's the thing. And I hate Bruce Arians in this aspect. He sees man coverage. He's going to want to take shots a lot. And I'm sorry, but contested shots are not good plays on first and second down, especially if it's not on play action. He'll just take a shot. It won't be any, like the formation won't disguise it at all. It'll just be a straight up shot. It's like every time you see man to man on Mike Evans, you can't just take a shot. And the Chiefs like playing man to man. Make no mistake about it. They are cover one, maybe 2 men under. That's what they run. That's they're unapologetic about that.
Now, last year, Breland had himself a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Can he repeat that performance?
Depends on who he's on. Evans. Oh, well, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna. It's gonna depend. I don't know if he's gonna be on Mike Evans. He might cover, Scotty Miller in certain formations, or
but primarily he's gonna be on Mike Evans.
Well, Tyrann Mathieu might be on Mike Evans.
And Breland from his days in Washington always wanted to be that number one guy, wanted to cover the other team's number one guy. And that's what I feel like is going to happen. I would go after him and just make him prove himself again. I was like, all right, you got hot in this one Super Bowl. You weren't really hot that whole year. You kind of struggled the whole year until you got to the Super Bowl. So let's see if you can match that. And you don't have your buddy Fuller with you, backing you up as safety because he's now with Washington as a corner. So let's see if he can do it again.
And people forget, like, the 49ers weren't stacked with targets last year when they played the Chiefs, right? Make no mistake about it. Those were the two best teams in football, right? But at the same time, outside of Kittle, a lot of their offense was coming from the run game and play action, getting Garoppolo out of the fucking pocket. So it made the Chiefs' defense look a lot better than they actually were. I don't know, man. This game's going to be interesting, dude. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Hopefully AB is healthy. Hopefully he plays. It seems like every team that the Bucs played down the stretch, they lost to early on without AB, and then they play him the second time, and it doesn't quite turn out like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, like I said, I think this is going to be a really, really good, really good Super Bowl. This is probably this has the makings to be one of the greatest Super Bowls that we've seen. You got a young, talented quarterback. You got a good offense with that young, talented quarterback. You got an old, aging quarterback that still plays with his mind better than anybody that I've ever seen in any sport in general. And like I said, I'm gonna talk about Tom Brady in a second, but both teams don't have many weaknesses, and both teams can either beat you with their defense or their offense. So we really don't know who's going to come out on top in this game. I don't want to pick, but it's hard not to bet against Brady. I'm just being honest. And like I said, I'm going to talk about Tom Brady, but first, I just gifted everyone a tier 1 sub on the Twitch channel because thank everybody for their support. I thank you guys. If you can't see, I think you can get at least one of the emotes that I put. I think you have a badge as well. So if you want to show the badge off, if you type in the chat, you'll see all of that. That's just my way of saying thank you guys. You guys are awesome for showing love to the podcast. You guys are willing to make the transition over here to Twitch. And I didn't think too many people would come over here. That's why I did the stream last night. Just as a reminder, I thought people were like, oh, I don't see it on YouTube. F it, I'm gone. Whenever they decide to come back over here. But no, you guys came over here and decided to show love, and I really appreciate it. It may take a minute to understand Twitch subliminary, but it is not hard. But it's to me, I think it's a little more user friendly to us as gamers. But we'll talk about that one day down the road. But I'm going to talk about Tom Brady. Tom Brady is probably the most, and I know Bill's probably looking at me like I'm crazy, but I want him to understand me. I think he's one of the most least talented quarterbacks I've ever seen play the game. But what makes him so great is he used his mind. A lot of people, and I know DJ, and I know Bill's, anybody else who's listening, they say that the game is 90% mental. Tom Brady is the epitome of that. He used that 90% of the mental game to perfection. And the 10%, you don't see him scrambling. You barely see him move in the pocket. If you got him on the run, 9 times out of 10, he's going down. He's probably going to trip over himself, or you're just going to tackle him anyway. But the way he plays the quarterback position is, to me, they say 90-10, but it just seems like it's 100% mental when this guy is on the field. And that's what makes him so great. And I've never seen anything like it. I don't think we'll ever see anything like it. You look at all these other guys that are great. You look at a LeBron James. You look at a Michael Jordan. You look at a Derek Jeter. You look at all these other players who, in their respective sports, you see the physical side of what they do. But Tom Brady's like the only one that I see that actually does the mental game, and he does it to perfection. He does a fantastic job of showing off that side of the game that most people just talk about, but he's about it. He does it. He shows it. And this is one of the reasons why I feel that he's still playing at a high level at his age, because you see guys who play in the physical part of their games that do it because physically the Father Time has caught up with them. But one thing that you will never be able to get rid of is the mental game, unless if you lose your capabilities, which is very rare at a young age. He's done that very well, and it's amazing. And I think we're just seeing something that we'll probably never see again, as far as not just the accolades, not just the all the trophies and all the things that he's done on the field, the numbers or whatever. It's just the way that he plays the game. I don't think it's something that we'll see again, and I find it amazing. Anybody want to piggyback on that? Feel free.
Well, I think as far as him being able to show off the mental aspect of the game, is the benefactor of having good offensive linemen. I'm like, in this case, being with New England for so long, and not even going to talk about the coach, because some people, and Bills knows this, a lot of people want to credit Belichick for a lot of stuff that Brady has done. I was just like, Belichick could field people as the offensive lineman, but it's up to the offensive lineman at the end to be able to protect the quarterback. Doesn't matter who is out there, but the fact that Brady definitely was protected his whole, because we've seen games where he was under pressure, VF, like you said, where he would just crumble if pressure's on him. Obviously,
real quick, I don't want to cut you off. One of the main things about Tom Brady, and it's his kryptonite, it's not Eli Manning, because Eli Manning was the only one that able to defeat him. Yeah, exactly. To able to pass rushing with 4 down linemen is what the Giants was able to do both times. And that's like you said, if he gets rattled, he's not athletic enough to move around, but he makes up for that with everything else he does so well.
He's a firm believer in I'll give up this play for a better play on the next play.
Right.
He's a firm believer. He was like, look, I'm not going to sacrifice my body because my team needs me. I'm going to throw the ball away because we have at least 2 more downs to get, 10 yards or this touchdown. Oh, I'm going to throw the ball at his feet because his screen didn't form properly. Even though it looks clear to us on the TV that was a play that popped up. It looked like he could have just popped it to the running back real quick, but he knew ahead of time that the running back wasn't going to have a chance. So it's just like,
it goes back to the mental aspect. He sees all that. He knows all that, and it's just amazing that, when you I've always had like this, this fascination about the way Tom Brady plays the game. I mean, I'm not one of these guys that's like, oh, I'm tired of seeing him winning. I mean, yeah, it gets boring, but you just got to respect it. It's like you see what happens and the way he does it. You can't do nothing but just sit back and just respect how he does it.
But all that leads to his trust in his teammates. He has a huge trust level in his linemen, his receivers, his running backs to do their job. Now, he knows how to do his job, but when on a key play against, I forget which team it was, against the Saints, he goes to a rookie for a back shoulder throw that was, I think it was like 3rd and 13, back shoulder throw to a rookie. And the rookie makes the play. But the thing is, he had trust and he believed in that guy to make that play. And he believed it's like distributed amongst everybody on the team. This year with Tampa, all those years with the New England Patriots. I'm like, the only person he didn't trust was the coach. But I'm just saying, one of those things where, you know, when you trust in your teammates to do their jobs, it makes your job easier as a quarterback.
All right, Bills, I know you haven't said anything yet. What are your thoughts?
I tell my manager this all the time. Doubt is a hell of a motivator. Hate is a hell of a motivator. Skepticism is a hell of a motivator. When you have a guy that's drafted in the 7th round who was coming off an MVP in a bowl game, and he goes to a team with the aging quarterback who hasn't gotten him anywhere, and you draft him in the 7th round, and people question if he should have even been drafted there, there's a lot of doubt, a lot of skepticism, and a lot of hate. Tom Brady's fueled by hate, doubt, and skepticism.
He's a Sith Lord.
He's a Sith Lord. He has a chip on his shoulder that will never be knocked off, right? You would think, oh, he has 6 rings. How does he not have a chip on his shoulder? He will always have that chip on his shoulder because people said he shouldn't have been in the position he was in, right? I mean, it happened all throughout his career. Okay, first he gets drafted to New England. They said, you're not going to play there. They have Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe gets injured. Tom Brady comes in.
It's not even that. I mean, look, it's not even that. Look where he was drafted at.
No, but that what I just said.
No. I'm talking about like the pick. He was like 6th round, 199.
Yeah, 7th round.
Yeah, 7th round. It's like he basically was built for him to be a backup for life. That's basically what it was.
So when he went to New England,
make the team.
Yeah, when he went to New England,
in some cases, yeah.
When he went to New England, he said, "Well, he's not going to play." Bledsoe gets injured. He gets in. They said, Bledsoe will be back as soon as he's healthy.
4 or 5 games.
Leads them to a Super Bowl. They don't lose again after week 4. Something crazy like that. Then they say, oh, he's playing against the greatest show on turf. He's going to be intimidated. Drives him down the field on the last drive against the best defense in the league and the greatest offense really of the modern era at that time, at least on paper. And they win the Super Bowl. Oh, well, anybody can win one Super Bowl. He was managing the game. The very next year, they missed the playoffs. He has even more of a chip on his shoulder. Now they go into 03. Belichick's dumbass goes and gets rid of Lloyd Malloy. They say, okay, Brady's done now. Now it's it. He game managed the Super Bowl, and, you know, the defense led him to that. It's over now. Gets into a shootout with the Panthers, does the exact same thing, drives them down the field in overtime, boom, field goal, they win. 2 Super Bowls is nice, but Peyton Manning's still better than him. Faces Peyton Manning back-to-back years in the playoffs, outperforms Peyton Manning. I mean, it's like every time he hears it, 2014, he's no Montana. What does he have, 3 Super Bowls? That's cute. What does he do? He goes and scores twice on the last 3 drives against the best defense of the last, 15 years at least, since the Ravens defense? Okay, that's fine, but the defense kind of led him to that too because they traded for Darrelle Revis. Next year, Falcons, Super Bowl. Falcons are the overbearing favorites here. His best outside target is Danny Amendola. He comes back for 28-3. Sorry, Viev.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm over
makes
it now.
the greatest comeback ever in Super Bowl history and really in sports history. They win that. At that point, he had nothing to prove, but then he still has a chip on his shoulder. Here goes Pat Mahomes. Oh, well, there's a new sheriff in town in the AFC. Marches into Kansas City and scores and takes them on a game-winning drive in Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl again. Oh, well, he's facing another great defense in the Rams. They beat them. So then, after all that, you would think he wouldn't have a chip on his shoulder. Then what happens? He leaves New England. Well, Belichick. I mean, Belichick is the only reason he's ever succeeded anywhere. Meanwhile, he's going to a Super Bowl in the first year on the Bucs. And Belichick is at home. He's been at home for the past 5 weeks. Their season was over 10 weeks ago. So that's really what's driving him. It's a chip on his shoulder. No, he doesn't have elite arm talent. No, he doesn't have elite athleticism. But he's a step ahead of everybody at all times. He works out with all of his teammates in the offseason to instill this trust in him. So in week 7, when you need a game-winning drive, don't be surprised when he comes to you. If you drop a pass, he's coming back to you. It takes a lot to break his trust completely. So that's why it's hard for me to bet against him in any Super Bowl. He has lost 3 Super Bowls. But at the same time, just knowing that chip on his shoulder, I'm sorry, but it's hard to go against a guy who is the best and has a chip on his shoulder. It's the same thing with Michael Jordan. It's the exact same thing.
And see, this is the thing. And I don't want to get into that because even with Michael Jordan, a lot of with him was mental, but people just think it was more physical because with Michael, he just had that athletic ability to show on the court. But a lot of people don't realize with Mike, it was a lot of mental with him for him to succeed as well. And and not. This is one thing I like about post. This is what I like about post career. I ain't gonna say post, but later career LeBron. LeBron learned the mental aspect after his shortcomings, and I like that side of LeBron than the first one because you can see the way he plays the game is way much different than it was when he was trying the first time. It's like I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Flash. I love all of. I mean, even with Jordan, I love the Flash. I love all that. I like Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning has all the talent. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, all these. Pat Mahomes. I love it, but I love when somebody could use their mind to beat you and show off the quote unquote talent they have, even when it's lack thereof, because they beat you out thinking you as well as beating you at without the talent.
I don't think mentally that was what it was with LeBron. I think more so it was the fact that he stopped giving a fuck what everybody thought about anything.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the mental aspect.
That's what I'm saying.
Mentally on the court and mentally as far as that are 2 different things to me. I think there's a difference between your psyche and the mental makeup of you physically playing basketball and how that translates mentally to strategizing and things like that. I think he's gotten any better mentally in the last, I'd say, 5 years. I think the difference is that he is unapologetically going out there and saying, I'm the best player in the world. I'm going to prove why I'm the best player in the world.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what you say. In Miami, he tried so much to be the bad guy the first year. We're the villains. You're not a fucking villain, bro.
Yeah, the problem is...
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. It's like with Jordan, like you said, with Brady, we talked about him earlier. To think about those two, they had the chip on their shoulder mostly because of what was in front of them. A lot of with LeBron was like, it was outside. It wasn't his peers. It wasn't the people that he was playing against. But once he started having that whole demeanor, like, I don't have to take it out on my peers. I'm taking it out on the naysayers. And the naysayers were the people that were outside of the sport. With Jordan and Brady, it was more like the people that was within the sport. I mean, it was well documented on the Jordan or the Bulls documentary, how he took what any person that was on the court with him he took the smallest thing personally. With Tom Brady, was more like, oh, y'all think I can't do this because I was drafted here or I was put in to play against, be a fill-in for Bledsoe. Well, I'm gonna show you this. I think with LeBron, it was basically the same, but it was more like it wasn't with the people on the court with them, outside of the Celtics, obviously. But it was more like, oh, y'all mad because I went here to play here. Well, fuck that. I'm just gonna show you that how well I am.
But on the court, it kind of is in a way on the court in this aspect. After he won in Miami and went back to Cleveland, lost that first year to Golden State.
Yeah, right.
Said, well, Stephen Curry is the new sheriff in town. And
I'm totally 100% with you with that. Now that right there, that's where it got like, oh. Now y'all think y'all can beat me. I mean, even with game 1 when Durant was with them, it was the same mentality. J.R. Smith fucked that up for him because I'm not going to say that he could have won that. They would have won that series, but game 1 was the game that gave them a serious fighting chance if he would have won that game.
Right,
it would have given him a serious fighting chance. So I'm with you on that. Yeah,
something about knocking him off his perch that he just doesn't like. I mean, you see every time he faces Giannis, there's a different type of energy to that game every time they face. So it's like that's his thing. He's kind of getting into that Brady mode where it's like, I will fall off this perch, or I will step down from this perch when I want to step down. You're not going to knock me off this perch. Jerry Rice said it. I would read all the newspaper clippings and see who the next guy is that they say, okay, this guy is the best receiver in the game this year. And then I'd work 10 times harder in the offseason and come back better, faster, stronger than ever. And
DJ, what you was about to say? Because I know we cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, with LeBron, his whole thing, well, one, he has photographic memory, so he'll remember everything.
Automatically unfair advantage.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing with LeBron. It's more like you have this type of memory.
Internal.
Right, you have the, and I'm pretty sure that all the other greats we just mentioned probably have it, but I think he is on another level with him because even Peyton Manning had it. I mean, Peyton Manning, it was stories on him where it was like he saw something in the first quarter and he immediately see it again in the fourth quarter as soon as he hikes the ball and he sees it again and he knows how to make a play. So it's a lot, but LeBron was just on another level of his photographic memory because the way he explained it one time, it was like, and to think about, if he had that, and it's not a knock on him, it's like if he had like, and I don't know if it grew on him as he played in the NBA, but if he had that year 4, year 5, and he took it to the level where I don't give a fuck, 4 and 6 would probably not even be a thing.
I think he always had. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, at that point, you're asking a 22-year-old.
True, I know that's true.
Most 22-year-olds are still on their way up. So
right.
I think
that is true.
I think he learned it at the appropriate time.
I can believe that. I'm with you on that.
I think from his first game in the pros, he had that photographic memory just based on plays that I saw him react to in the pick and roll, having never played in the NBA before. He saw the coverage one time on it and was immediately like, oh, shit, I'm going to do, oh, fuck, they're hard hedging here. Boom. I know that guy in the corner is open every time. So for me, I think the photographic memory was always there, but it was the teammates that couldn't react to what he was recalling and make the adjustments. I think that's really what it was because you saw it come out in Miami. Once everybody else was adjusting the way he was adjusting, you got smart players like Ray Allen, Shane Battier, Dwayne Wade. Chris Anderson was great in pick and roll defense. I think that's when you really started to highlight it like, oh, shit, he's playing with crazy talent that has the same mental, acumen for the game as him, Mike Miller. I think that's when it really came out. I think he always had it. I mean, I go back and watch those Wizards series and I'm like, holy shit, bro. They were trapping this dude on every pick and roll. They were sending a bunch of bodies at him, and it's like one play, and he would automatically know how to counter it. But sometimes his teammates just couldn't hang on that level of, mental. It's just like, I don't think people considered Jordan a basketball IQ guy until he started playing in a system and with teammates that shared that shared that basketball acumen. Because once Jordan started playing in the triangle, that's when he really started to show his basketball IQ, was when he played in the triangle. So I think sometimes it's just situations and surroundings, honestly. But in Peyton Manning and Tom Brady's case, I mean, they were just. I mean, I think the other unfair advantage Tom Brady had was him growing up in fucking California, watching San Francisco every week. That motherfucker was offense when he was 14.
Right, so, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you know, some kids just are prodigies at a young age, whether it's physically or mentally. I think in Brady's case it was mentally, and LeBron's case, it was probably both.
Yeah, right now every football team in the NFL is looking for the next Brady.
Pretty much.
But at the same time, it actually ruins those other teams, because when they have something that is going to be great on its own right, because it's not like Brady. So it's like, if you look at how the fan base gauges quarterbacks here in Washington, everybody's like, oh, you're not great now? Oh, get out of here. You're not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything. But, you know, if, like, I like what Baltimore did when they drafted Lamar Jackson. They ignored the whole equation. It's like, oh, you can draft him, be a running back, a wide receiver, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, he's going to be drafted as a quarterback. He's going to be great at doing the thing he does best, being a mobile quarterback. Eventually, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish it off.
So it's just like, you see Pat Mahomes. He's not Tom Brady, but he's Pat Mahomes. He's being great at doing what he does best. Aaron Rodgers, he's no Tom Brady, but he's Aaron Rodgers. He became great doing the thing he does best. And that's what a lot of teams around this league need to understand. There's only one Tom Brady. Stop looking for him.
And here's the thing. I was having this discussion with somebody before. There was a person whose post I shared on Facebook that said they don't think Bill Belichick is the greatest NFL coach of all time. Now, all of my personal gripes with how he fucked up the Patriots seasons individually aside, I said I put Bill Walsh and Chuck Noll ahead of him. Now, the reason I put Bill Walsh ahead of him is simple. There are West Coast principles taught on every single football team and every single football camp when it comes to making reads these days. Nobody looks at the field deep to shallow nearly as much as they used to. Now everything is touchdown or check down. That's literally what basically every quarterback is taught these days. That's Bill Walsh.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's basically what it is. You're right.
That's Bill Walsh's influence. Tom Brady's entire, Josh McDaniels' entire system in New England was the West Coast offense, and all of those reads were based on, using your running backs out of the backfield as receivers. That was Bill Walsh. He was doing this shit in the 80s. So that's why go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and you know, it makes sense because your first read is trying to figure out what coverage are they playing. Usually the safety will tip you off half the time. Right. So you're looking at him wherever he is. It's like, okay, are you the only one back there, or are you on the left side of the field, on the right side of the field? Yeah, that's like your first look. So if you got something deep, he's your first indicator, and after that, you're reading the linebackers. Where are they? How's their coverage?
I would venture to say, if it wasn't for Bill Walsh, going into the early 2000s, we might have seen running backs never go out for passes. They might still be blocking for quarterbacks. Or
you were still seeing running backs trying to be Emmitt Smith all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Because it changes how teams draft. It changes how they game plan defensively. It changes how they run their offense. All of that changed with the West Coast offense, and it took a while for it to really catch on. But once, I'd say about 95, 96 came around, a lot of teams started to look for that methodical offense down the field that was, as Complimentary said, touch or check down and play action. Those are the three main things. And the other thing is you got to be very smart because I equate it to the triangle offense. You have a lot of options on each play, but your job is to figure out which is the most viable option based on the defense. A lot of it is anticipatory. Yep. You have to be a very smart player to play in a West Coast offense, but at the same time, it doesn't matter if you have a run and shoot, which NYK loves run and shoot. You have a lot of vertical offenses in the game these days, like the Chiefs. They still use check down principles that are in the West Coast offense. So that's why I give it to Bill Walsh. Chuck Noll, I mean, it goes without saying. That dude got 4 Super Bowls in an era with the Miami Dolphins and the LA Raiders. He got 4 Super Bowls out of that era. They beat Fran Targets and the Vikings in the Super Bowl. They beat Miami. They beat, like I said, the LA Raiders. 4 Super Bowls in that era is insane. They beat the Cowboys. Those are some of the greatest teams of all time. That won Super Bowls, they were isolated from, the other teams that they played in the Super Bowl. But fuck, I mean,
one thing you can say, even though that the 49ers won 4 times in the 80s, nobody really talks about those teams in general. Nobody really talks about them. That's something that that's something that's really overlooked even to the thing. And I was a 49ers fan in the late 80s because, I mean, my whole thing, I'm from Georgia, but I didn't become a Falcons fan until the early 90s because we were so bad, I didn't even know we had a team in Georgia. I just knew of what I saw on TV, which was the 49ers, but nobody talks about that entire team. You may know about, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Roger Craig, but you don't talk about the entire team. Maybe Clark, the tight end?
Dwight
Clark. Yeah, you might hear, but you don't hear about the
Brent Jones, I think.
Yeah, Brent Jones later. Yeah, but you don't hear about the team as a collective. But those teams, it's like, how could you not hear about those teams that won 4 Super Bowls in a decade? You know what I mean? It's really weird.
Think about this. He had the greatest draft in history for a coach. That dude drafted John Stallworth, Lynn Swann, Mike Webster, and Jack Lambert in the same draft. The same draft.
Quaface just bought up Ronnie Lott. You don't even hear about. I mean, you talk about Ronnie Lott, but you don't even, like I said, as a collective, you don't even hear about those teams, and they had players.
Wait a minute, correction: 3 Super Bowls in the decade, 1 in the 90s.
Yeah, 94.
Oh yeah, 90. Yeah, that's right. 94 was the one that they didn't get. George Seifert was there, which was pretty much he was a product of Bill Walsh. Anyway.
And they only replaced Roger Craig with Ricky Waters.
Ricky Waters, right?
It was the same system. They were a little bit more vertical with Steve Young because he had a better arm,
right?
But
it was a little bit more. It was a little bit more mobile, but it was basically the same thing.
And that 80s versions of 49ers, that whole decade was separated literally by 1 game. And, it came down between, and they played each other in, I don't know if it was the division. I think it was the NFC Championship. It was Washington versus San Francisco. Those were your 2 teams in the 80s.
Yep.
It was the 80s was decided in that game right there.
And then when Ronnie Lott left, they switched Ronnie Lott out with Tim McDonald. So it was, I mean, they just basically plugged and play, but everything was basically the same.
Charles Haley,
yep.
He became a hired gun and went to Dallas. You had Deion Sanders.
And honestly, I'll take all of the 80s. Yeah. I'll take all of the 80s in the first half of the 90s. I'll take any Super Bowl winner from any year, and I'll put them up against any other era.
Yeah, because you're right, because those teams, and I'm not knocking any of these teams who won Super Bowls in the 2000s or the late 90s, but you saw those were tough, complete teams that had talent.
They were facing other Hall of Fame teams, not Hall of Famers, Hall of Fame teams.
Right.
But you know why that was, like, especially
free agency.
Yes, and it didn't start up until 92.
Yeah, I think it was like 92, 93.
Because they used to have a thing. It was like Plan A, Plan B, Plan B free agency.
But you look at it now, like you look at Super Bowl teams now, there's either toughness or finesse. Like those teams that we talked about back then, it wasn't even finesse. You just had toughness with players that can ball. Well, it was just a different type of player back then.
Well, another thing is seldom do you see now 2 teams in the Super Bowl that are far and away the best 2 teams in the league, right? Because you saw that a lot in the 80s and the 90s. It was San Francisco and Dallas. Whoever they played in the Super Bowl was getting washed. It didn't matter, right?
And then on the AFC side, you had your Buffaloes, and then you had your that one year where San Diego went, and then you had those type of teams. But
what's funny? In the 91 Super Bowl, Buffalo was favored to win that game, and they got completely washed.
Yep. You're right. Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's like nowadays there isn't as much of a gap between. You got a team with Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Deion Sanders, Charles Haley, Ricky Waters, all in the same team.
Ken Norton Jr.,
Merton
Hanks.
Between the Cowboys, the motherfuckers are just flipping back and forth. Charles Haley goes to the Cowboys.
Deion goes to Dallas.
Right. It was whoever they go, Charles Haley and Deion, that team is going to win the Super Bowl. Make no mistake about it.
Right, or at least be there.
The 49ers and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, and the AFC had no fucking shot. It was the same thing in the 80s. The AFC had no shot. Cincinnati played pretty well against San Fran, but let's be honest, San Fran is one of the greatest teams of all time.
You got to understand. You got to understand. What wasn't that? Well, that was the 81 year, right?
80.
The Bengals.
4.
I would say
the Bengals and 49ers played in 81. I think.
Did they?
I want to say that. Let me look.
Yeah, because I know the Steelers won their last Super Bowl in my birth year, 1980.
Quaface, my favorite football game ever was the.
Oh no! I'll take that back. Was it 89?
It was 89. My favorite football game ever was the 92 NFC Championship game. It was a very high quality game of football.
So
that was San Fran and
Dallas, muddy ass game, just hard nosed football.
Wait a minute! I was right. The 49ers and Bengals played each other twice. One time in 81 and again in 89.
Yeah, because in the gap there, actually, when I talked about
that was without Jerry Rice, by the way, 81.
Right. No, 81 had no Jerry Rice. Right, you're right.
Yeah, and that was the gap because then Washington went to the Super Bowl for 2 straight years, and that NFC Championship between San Francisco and Washington. That was going to be Washington's 3rd Super Bowl in a row. And that's why, a lot of historians, they talk about that deciding the team in the 80s being the 49ers.
But that's why when people sit here and talk about John Elway, I'm like, I've never seen a quarterback get smoked in the Super Bowl that many times. And they got the nerve. That motherfucker wasn't even making it a game. 85 Bears. He what did they score? 10 unanswered? And then all of a sudden the game was over against Doug Williams.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
John Elway got smoked by the Giants.
He
got
the
smoked by
Bears.
Washington. No, wait a minute. He never played. I don't think he played the Bears in the Super Bowl.
He did 85. That was
New England. That was New England.
Oh yeah, it was New England.
That was Steve Grogan that got smoked.
Yeah.
They had no chance in that game.
The Super Bowl that Walter Payton, I wish, would have scored a touchdown. Everybody and their mama scored the Super Bowl.
Yeah, except for him, right?
He played against the Niners. Yeah, he played against they played against the Niners, the Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos got smoked. I remember that because I was a Niners fan back then. 55-10. I remember that.
That's why when everybody was getting behind the Bills this year, I mean, like before they got beat by Kansas City, I was like, don't jump behind the team who historically could go 0 for 5 in the Super Bowl. Don't do that. I'm like, they had Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, and Bruce Smith
my whole thing
Urban all together talking. I'm just like,
my whole thing behind the Bills going into the Super Bowl and winning, because I had this love for them like the Chicago Cubs when they finally won one. Like, this is their chance. Just give them one, because these motherfuckers been struggling. It wasn't because it's not because I wanted them to win. It's like, it comes a time that somebody gets something.
I'll be honest. The Cubs one was surreal for me because for the first half of my life, I mean, the Red Sox didn't have a ring. Right. And the Cubs, I mean, they got close except Steve Bartman's bitch ass.
Right, yeah. And that was a legit chance for them to win, too.
And what sucks even worse is that the team that beat you goes on and wins the World Series that year.
And you know, same thing with me as a Braves fan. I watched them like fall on their face like all throughout the '90s, and they finally win one in '95, and I was like, yes, finally you win one.
It's
You know what? They had to beat another. They had to
go ahead.
Yeah, they had to beat another Native American team just to do it.
Right. But I go back and look at the '90s. I'm like, surely these motherfuckers won more than one.
No, they only won one. They won. Throughout the '90s, they won 14 straight pennant races.
Dude, I was a huge Braves fan when I was little because I remember playing All-Star Baseball, and they had to stack that squad with Andrew Jones and Chipper Jones and
Andres Galarraga
and Craig Maddox. They had a crazy staff.
No, that pitching staff was like legendary, bro.
Andrew Jones, Gary Sheffield, and Chipper Jones in the same lineup.
Yo, Steve Avery, you had Avery, Smoltz, Maddox.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like you had how could you not win at least two? You know what I mean? It was nuts.
But truth be told, though, the NL East was a fucking dogfight.
It was a monster. It was.
Dogfight back then.
It was a monster. I mean, you had the Expos wasn't on there, was it? No.
The
Expos. I think what's the Expos? I think the Expos was a part of it. Yeah, the Expos. You had.
You only had two divisions. I think you only had East and West.
Yeah, back then, right? Yeah, back then you did. It wasn't broke up like what it is now.
You had the Mets.
You had the Phillies. You had the Expos, Montreal. Yeah. I can't remember all of them because they done changed so much now. But I remember that. Yeah, it was rough.
There was
though.
no Miami squad.
No, Miami wasn't there yet. No, they wasn't there yet. But it was rough. It was rough. But before we go, let's talk about this. The problem with developers and making these games, man. I mean, we always rag on them, but obviously, I think we learned with Madden, but now we see with other games, like the suits are really the problem. And it really sucks. You see with Cyberpunk, what happened with them. Like, everybody rashed the devs, and when the story comes out that the leadership actually told them to put this game out the way it was, and the devs like, you sure about that? And you see what happens. Like, the main thing about this, what I wanted to say, are we really going to see a change where the suits are going to continue to push these games out like this after Cyberpunk, or we're going to have a situation where the suits going to be like, hey, we saw what happened with Star Wars, and we're not going to push too much on the gamers. DJ, what do you think? You think we're going to still see more games like this?
Unfortunately, we are, because these companies, they just want to make money. They want to make a profit. If you don't get a game out there, you're losing potential dollars. No matter it's gotten to the point where, and I would say consumers have a little bit of blame in this, because then we go out and we buy that said product, even though it's not even, ready or whatnot. And because of that, the developers are caught in the middle. It's just like, okay, suits already know people are ready for this game. We've been making this game for how long? We need to get out there. We need to make the schedule. It's all about satisfying our shareholders and get the game out there like we scheduled. Don't care if we can patch it later. That's another thing. The fact that with the online gaming the way it is, everything can be patched later. So it's just like, just put it out there right now. We'll just fix it on the way out, and we don't have to hire any beta testers, because the consumers will test the game for it.
They're paying us money, and they're beta testers.
Right. So it's just like the pressure to put out a game is basically the shareholders or the suits are like, look, we have a schedule to keep. Get this game out there. We can always fix it later. It's always a thing where it's like, it's better to say you're sorry than to not to always. It's better to say you're sorry than to ask for permission. I think it's the same.
That's exactly.
So that's basically what the suits are doing. The developers are caught in the middle, and then at the same time, as consumers, a little bit of responsibility that we have in this, we enable it.
Yeah, what do you think, Bills?
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to keep seeing games like this. I mean, that's not going to change because, like DJ said, they're buying them. And it's funny because everybody keeps saying, "Oh, the next time I'm not buying this shit." And
they turn on to buy it anyway.
They do it every fucking time like a dumbass.
We see it with Madden all the time, right? Like, we're not buying this shit. And then,
last year I'm buying this piece of shit game. And then they buy it next year. So, we'll continue to see this. It's never going to end. Because until consumers respond with their pockets, it's not going to matter. So,
yeah, I'm with you with that. Optimus Pooh, I want to say this. He said, "Is it me or I'm done talking about Madden? I got too many games."
He mixed two names.
I sure did, didn't I? Is it me? Because Optimus is Goob. Yeah.
Optimus Pooh.
I know, right? That's crazy. See, I got too many games. I got too many games to look forward to support. Really worry about Madden. I don't mind not talking about. I don't mind talking about. Exactly. I knew that. That's his name. I knew that's his name. Cause his name is.
That ain't his name that shows up in the chat. So no.
I got it right.
No. I got it right.
I got it right.
I'll give that one.
I got it right because actually, but I don't have a problem talking about Madden. I really don't. I know what I'm getting into, but I don't mind because it's a football game and I love football. I don't mind talking about it. Playing is another deal. I don't know, but hey, I don't know. Quaface said,
I'm about to say I don't mind talking about it because I didn't buy the game. I played it, but I didn't buy it.
Quaface said, "COD is bad, but I buy it every year." Call of Duty is a bad game, but the thing about Call of Duty is still legitimately fun when you really play.
That's what I was gonna say. There are bad games that are fun. It's not something you would usually expect, right? But I mean, Call of Duty is when you think about the standard for shooters, Call of Duty is a bad game, but it's fun. So I buy it. It's a weird dynamic.
It's legitimately fun. I can see why people say Warzone or the recent Modern Warfare was bad, but I enjoyed playing that game. I enjoyed playing offline. I enjoyed playing online. But I know it's problems with the game. But at the end of the day, if you're having fun, why does it matter? You guys know what I'm saying?
To be fair, I can't really play it unless I'm teaming up with others. But I'm playing the campaign right now on Cold War. It's pretty good. I mean, the thing is, it's also about expectations. Are you going into this expecting destructible environments and Battlefield level gameplay? If you are, then of course you're going to be disappointed. But somebody like me that's been playing Call of Duty for years, I know what to expect, and I can separate simulation, which is Battlefield, from fucking basically glorified paintball, which is Call of Duty.
and I think that's where I'm at with Madden. I honestly think I know my expectations. I know what I'm getting into. I'm not about to get overly hyped. I know it's gonna be some BS. I know it's gonna be some good gameplay. It's kind of mixed into both. So when I play it, I'm like, okay, I know what I'm getting into, so I'm not gonna be too surprised. But at the end of the day, it's like a lot of people don't do that. Pooh put something up here saying that's really rare. He said, "Bro, I got Monster Hunter to worry about. Devs that actually put in the work to exceed my expectations." There's not many devs that do that, to be honest.
And it's funny because I know what's the name talked about No Man's Sky earlier.
Yeah. WIB Complimentary. Yeah, Complimentary did.
He brought them up, and the reason why they're able to do that because they're a small company still. They're not upholding to any shareholders. Once they get upholding to some shareholders and they get bigger, you're gonna start to see.
That's when you need to start watching.
And here's the thing: always keep an eye on Sean Murray because he already lied at the beginning of it in 2016, so he got over that. But he's a former EA employee, so. Just saying.
Man, I just bought this game. It's an indie game called Hades, and I'm going to try it out because I've been hearing everybody talk about this on PC. They're made by the same people that made Transistor, and Jack Move Johnny, he swears about its game, and he the reason why I bought Transistor, and oh boy, that game's terrible. But I don't know what Jack thinks. I don't know what Jack sees in that game. He thinks that game is great, and I was trying to play it. I'm like, But Hades is different. Yeah, Hades is different. Hades is more like what Transistor is, but it has like a God of War vibe to it. with more of a hack and slash. So I'm going to try it out, but it's like that transistor game. I'm looking like I may give it a try again, but I'm like,
the thing is, too, the way people hate the current God of War, they'll try it by any means to get God of War into Hades.
Me. I do not like that. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but that God of 2018 God of War, that ain't what the cool kids say. That ain't it. You know, it ain't, man. I'm sorry, man. I played all of God of Wars 1, 2, 3. I played the remaster. I even played the Origin collection. But I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it's just I'm used to the God of War that I used to play, and I got halfway through the 2018 version, but I just couldn't finish it. I need to, but I just can't. Because
I beat it. It was.
I know you did. You did.
Story was spectacular. Just gonna say that.
Well,
I'm trying not to say nothing, man. Because I don't want to like that. Like
because
that's
I just press buttons to attack. That's
no, you don't. You don't do that in God of War. You don't. It is real combos.
I'm sorry if it takes a little bit of skill to play this one.
It takes skill to play the other ones.
Really?
There are combos in the old God of War. There really are. All you have to do is press pause and look. They're there. You don't just press one button.
Yeah, but the game doesn't lead you to believe that there are there versus this one.
Spectacular Pooh says, and I forgot to point out this out. The microtransactions that are cosmetic, the update. You're talking about my son. Okay, we get it. You know you love my son. No, he got me on it. I actually like Monster Hunter. He got me playing it. I've been streaming it. It's just really cool.
Yeah, I'm about to say, he typed out a whole paragraph. He's about to cover up bills, the whole thing.
Jesus.
One thing he did say, he said Iceborne gives him that Battlefield 4 premium vibes. And I don't know, man. Battlefield 4 Premium is the best DLC ever created. I don't care what nobody says.
Lofty of us, that's some lofty comparison.
Right. I mean, you got your money's worth when you bought Premium. It's like that's like the best DLC I've ever seen.
I'll be honest. Battlefield 4 was tremendous, but pretty much every map pack from Black Ops 2 was very good.
Black Ops 2, I'll give you that. Black Ops 2 was a really good one, and you didn't have to pay as much with Premium. I will give you that. I think what Battlefield 4 was, even though the maps in Black Ops 2 was good, I think with Battlefield 4, it gave you a different vibe with different map packs. You didn't every different map pack actually felt like a different game, even though the mechanics were the same.
Quaface trying to hold you under streaming hostage. Don't play another game until you finish.
I'm like, hey, you able to finish Last of Us 2? I mean.
Which I still got.
That game was a grind. I will admit that. I love the game, but yeah,
you like the emoji I made, right? But no, man, I know I need to finish God of War. I know I need to finish it, you know, and the reason why I actually finished Last of Us 2, I mean, my wife was beating me up over it because she was like, you let Jack move, you let Broken Games, you let all them beat that game, and you say you was gonna beat that game as soon as you beat it. I ain't even having to watch.
Damn, you got your man card pulled.
Hey, she did. And no lie, she said, I was going to watch your stream, but your ass was taking too long, so I ended up watching their stream. And I was like, so you cheating on me on the streams? Like, she was like, yes, because you ain't wanting to finish it. So.
She went and got a side stream.
Man, she got a side stream, bro.
Yeah, come on. Look, you have a son, so we know you like to finish. We gotta complete the game. You gotta go ahead and finish it. So you can move on.
Man, that's what she did. She said I had to watch other people's streams because you didn't finish the game. Because when I had Last of Us 1, I could not put that game down. But for some reason, I put the second one down. I should not have, but. It's like, like the first one, and literally when I got off work, this was before, I was streaming. When I got off work, that's all I did. I played the game. She laid right there on the couch and watched me finish it. And she fell in love with the series. Well, I can't call the series only 2 games, but she fell in love with the game, and she was waiting for me to do the second one so she can watch that one as well. And I just did.
Well,
She
apparently,
went out there and found a side streamer, bruh.
Right, she found the side streamer,
apparently
man.
going to the MLB series is 2 games.
Yeah, that's true. So Quaface said, "Don't play another game until I finish God of War." Okay. Oh, they actually showed my emote, so I'll put this emote. Yeah. Let's see what else up here I wanted to show. I think that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, Pooh did say, "Can we get another Uncharted?" The way Uncharted 4 ended, I'm not sure.
Wait, but you're gonna get an Indiana Jones game apparently. Microsoft.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm going to talk about that when I get more information about that. I did see that. That might be a good game.
Yeah, because I was going back. I went down that rabbit hole looking over past games and talking about Tomb Raider mechanics, and then Uncharted, and then it was Uncharted versus Tomb Raider, but they both spawned from Indiana Jones, and here we got Indiana Jones, and then just recently released Hitman 3, which I beat. And
yeah, you beat that already?
Yeah, it's
oh yeah, they did say it was a short game. That's right. That's right.
But here's the thing: they're moving on to work on 007. So that's where Hitman spawned in. And I went down that rabbit hole in the middle of the night last night looking at the soundtrack from Blood Money. Apparently the song that one of the assassins sings in it, that sings horribly, was supposed to be it's appropriately named Tomorrow Never Dies. It was supposed to be on the soundtrack of the movie back in '97. But they gave it to Sheryl Crow instead of this other, and then this one was better. But anyway, all these games spawn from, and it seems like those games are starting to come back out, like 007 and Indiana Jones. So I am patiently waiting to see what these are going to look like.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. But like I said, when it comes to like I'm with you guys the same way as far as the devs or whatever. Devs are always going to get the short end of the stick, and these guys who want it, Cyberpunk was literally it was a victim of trying to get Christmas money. That's the reason why Cyberpunk came out at the time it did, because they wanted to get money off off of Christmas instead of finishing the game, and they succeeded because a lot of people bought the game, but the game just came out terrible.
Who talking about we must bring the pain? We brought the pain. We beat y'all in Philly. Remember?
No, he talking about Max Payne.
I know what he's talking about. I'm just saying.
Max Payne could use another game. Max Payne 3 was great. I need to stream that game. Now, if you want me to stream a game, Quaface, I'll stream Max Payne 3. That's great. Oh, speaking of the emotes, if you're on, I think it's tier 1, I have to clip that emote. I want to put that up here. So I know because Pooh just clipped something. So if you guys want to see something clipped, you can put the emote out. It says clip that, and there it is, right? Not Double Dragon. Who cares about that? But there's the clip that.
Wow.
There's the clip that emote if you want to want something clipped. But no, like seriously, Double Dragon. I would like to see another one because Streets of Rage 4. They did do that, and Streets of Rage 4 was actually pretty good. So it was nice to see another Double Dragon. Matter of fact, wait a minute. Did another? Did another Double Dragon just come out?
Yeah, it was Double Dragon 4, and it looked like neon, whatever. It looked stupid.
Hey, let me look that up. Hold on.
They made it in the mold of Double. No, actually, it was Double Dragon 5 because there was a 4. It
was a 4. A 4 came out on Super Nintendo. I do remember that.
Super Double Dragon.
Right. It was called Super Double Dragon.
No, I actually did.
Wait a minute. No, Super Double Dragon 4 did come out for the PlayStation 4 in 2017. That's what it is. So a new one did come out recently.
Yeah, and they made it retro style.
Yeah, because it came out on the PS4, Microsoft Windows, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. So, preliminary, another one did come out.
Damn.
I didn't even know that.
Jesus Christ.
Some bitterness coming from us.
Wow.
Okay.
You going to handle that?
Do what? Talking about Spectacular Pool, Optimus Pool, whatever you want to call it. He said, you know what, I hope you get your ass handed to you in King of Fighters again. Hey, man, don't talk. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, King of Fighters 13 was whooping. I ain't gonna lie, man. Hey, that game was tough at the end of that game, man. That one, and what was that? Oh, also in Capcom vs SNK 2, I was getting whooped in that game. I ended up beating them. That's the important part. But yeah, shut up. Anything else y'all got before we go? I mean, because
I guess I was supposed to sing, but I don't think it was sing "Can You Stand the Rain" tonight. I'm not gonna sing that.
Oh yeah. You did say you was gonna sing. That's right.
I'm not gonna sing that.
But you're supposed to roast people tonight. What's going on?
I was, but I mean, we kind of talked more analytically about that game. So
This man just went soft on us. That's crazy.
Tell DJ to shut up.
He said, "Nah, Bills. Nah, Bills. What?
Roast them.
I mean, bro, look, man. There's gonna be even bigger roast if they win the Super Bowl. All right, trust me. Trust and believe. If they win the Super Bowl, it's gonna be a ridiculous roast.
I really think, all seriousness though, I think this is going to be a very good Super Bowl.
It is.
This has the making to be. This has that's the making to be a really good one. Seriously, looking at the two teams and what they bring to the table, this could be an all-time great Super Bowl. And to be honest with you, it hasn't been. It's probably been like one or two for the past 15, 20 years. Like a really good one. I think this might be the one. Because I don't see either team actually blowing the other team out, or I don't see, many mistakes happening in this game. This could be a really good one.
Boo.
I'm not even gonna put that on the screen. I'm not putting that on the screen. I'm not gonna do that.
And I'm not gonna entertain that. I'm gonna just sidestep. I'm a Eurostep that one.
James Harden Euro stepped that one.
Jay, travel too. What do you think? I'm trying to think of a song to sing. I can't think of one. There's so many.
Wait a minute.
Jodeci would be kind of.
Oh, you're thinking about what you could sing on the next one?
No, now. I mean,
we got a good 15 minutes. We got a good.
Can You Stand the Rain? But I was thinking something else. I'm just trying to think of something else.
Yeah, we got another 15. We got 15 minutes left. So I mean, you see.
I'm trying to think of a song like
live in concert.
I know, right? I was chilling with this chick the other day.
Oh, he about to make love to us.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold up. Hold up. You about this? Nah.
He about to make love to his. He about to Johnny Gillis.
Get out.
Go ahead and sing.
What?
Sing some panty droppers in front of a bunch of men.
DJ, you want me to say "Can You Stand the Rain"? What?
No, Can You Stand the Rain?
Am I gonna say
whatever?
What the fuck am I gonna say? What am I gonna say? Lean on me?
I'm just saying.
He says "Step in the Name of Love." Fuck off.
I don't see any women in the chat.
Who's going to sing R. Kelly song nowadays? I mean,
well, shit. My mind is telling me something.
Nah, you sang that, bro. You sang that song. Your ass getting muted. Dude, we're not singing that song. No, I caught on to that.
I'm calling. That's how you sound.
Wait a minute. A lot of R. Kelly songs have subliminal messages in them just about little girls. If you
They really did.
I just thought about that.
Really? I never thought about that. Fucking full of shit.
He would have released a single called "Golden Showers."
Man, stop, man.
But it's my.
No, I had to mute him on that one, bro. No, it's just man. Golden Shower, I had to mute you on that one, bro. Give you 30 seconds, man. Get your mind right, man. That's gross.
Well, I can sing this since you just got muted. What can I say? What can I do to show how much I think about muting you? What can I say? What can I do to show how much I think about muting you?
So why are you singing to me now? That's
because he muted you.
That's so gay.
What? Who am I singing? Can you stand the rain to?
No.
Am I singing it to the atmosphere?
No.
Hey, didn't he ask you to sing that song?
I didn't ask you to sing that song. That was requested by somebody in the chat on my stream.
Hold on,
I didn't ask.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What kind of song is this, Pooh? I never heard of this.
Take my orange juice. Yo, that's
sounds
weird.
like a bad Pooh memory. That's
What kind of song is that?
That happened like last week or something. Bills, you okay? You knocking over stuff.
Bro, take my orange juice, bro. We need to have an intervention for Pooh. What the fuck was that?
That's what I'm trying to find out. I never heard of that before. Is that a song? Is that really a song?
Bro,
Take my orange. I can't even complete this phrase. Oh.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Bills. Here's the emote for you. There's the emote for you right there. That's you got the singing microphone. There you go.
Fucking take my orange juice.
That sounds like something that happened to Pooh last week.
Yeah, I was about to say like.
I'll tell you something. Pooh's fan base can't sing. We are the champions, my friends.
There we go.
We'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. I don't want my Freddie Mercury. I ain't doing nothing.
Okay.
Man, hold on.
Losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world.
Y'all got a free show and that got me to sing tonight, so y'all appreciate that shit.
I don't know why I held it so long.
Yeah, at that point you're showing off. Fuck you.
Let me say Minute Maid. Take my Minute Maid.
If VF can't sing that song either.
Wait a minute. What is he? Wait a minute. What is he talking? Wait a minute. What is he talking about?
If they hadn't given up a 28-3 lead.
Oh.
Wait a minute. What is on Spoo talking?
Once in his life, and then he tried to sing it with the soccer team.
So what Pooh's talking about? He talking about all he had was water.
Oh, bro, that'd be R. Kelly's new single, "Take My Minute Maid."
You giving that man too much?
Oh God!
You giving that man too much? Too many ideas.
He's probably listening right now. You know that would be a good idea.
Yeah, you know.
Take my Minute Maid.
Take my Minute Maid.
Oh boy.
Take my Minute Maid. Take my Minute Maid in 1 minute.
Yeah, got a free show. I wasn't even singing for real, so.
Shit.
No, man, but all seriously,
I know I was, because that's the best I can do.
No, man. I mean, it's just like what's his name? Antonio Wilson. He hasn't said nothing in a while. He said you got a very good voice, man. Yeah, that's what's up. I think you can say. It's awesome.
Appreciate it.
Which person he's talking about? He wasn't being specific because we both sang.
Oh, get the.
And I actually held the high note at one point, so I'm just saying.
Well, you know,
it ain't gonna be an overall competition. I already said Bills will sing circles around everybody here, but just for that one moment, I held the high note. Hello there.
before we get out of here, Bills, what you got, man?
Another song.
Yeah, it was fun, and this weekend's gonna suck because there's no football.
Hey, right.
There was a UFC event this past weekend, so we don't have one of those. I don't really know what to say about this weekend. I mean, Royal Rumble's on Sunday. Not really that excited about that. Looking forward to 2 weeks from now. I guess what's a Pro Bowl on this weekend? Like,
they're gonna be playing virtually. There's not gonna be a real Pro Bowl.
Oh shit!
Who's seriously?
Yeah, it's good. They're gonna be playing each other in Madden.
I might actually watch that. That's more interesting.
I'm not going to get into this because I know Quaface put this in the Discord earlier about how bad that the Madden champions were. He put in the Discord. some of those games actually was pretty entertaining to watch.
I like watching people play Madden that play it. Like, I watch NYK's videos, or I can watch NYK's videos all day.
Right.
But the people who play, like, shit heels, I can't watch them.
Right. There were some people that were actually playing. I mean, it wasn't the best football, but when I was watching it, and it wasn't that bad. It wasn't a lot of cheese. I'll just say that. It was actually pretty decent. Like, the only problem that I had with the game, the guys who were playing, a lot of people was rolling out a little bit too much. But I will say they rolled out to the right a little bit too much. But I will say they did play, with some logic and common sense. They actually threw the ball away when they were supposed to. Like, if they'll go out against, they actually played with some sense. And I can respect that.
If the Pro Bowls are going to play, I might watch that. That honestly be interesting. I can't lie. I probably watch that.
Yeah. Because to be honest with you, it'd probably be more entertaining than the actual Pro Bowl.
At least you see real hitting. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Because the Pro Bowl, man, they try to make it better, but it's been ass for like the past 15 years.
You can't blitz. You can't run zone. Which, honestly, if you ran zone, wouldn't that be safer than...
You would think.
Wait a minute. You know what we forgot to talk about?
What?
John Madden's asinine statement.
We can touch on that. If y'all want to do it in 4, that's fine.
He's senile. That's what. He's senile. He's senile. That's all I got. He's senile.
It is now complete.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
John Madden himself is now not Sim.
Now, here's my thing, right? Now, if they would have kept that man around to talk football and better the game, maybe his mental awareness would be in a better spot right now. Because when you do mentally stimulating things later in life, like playing checkers and things like that to keep your brain going, it helps you fight off dementia and things like that.
Let's touch on this real quick.
Yeah.
John Madden on Madden, the early day. No, this is old.
I'm about to say that looked like an old
picture. That was a motherfucker when he was 60 back in 2000.
Hold on, I can't. I thought that was it. Let me find it. Hold on. What?
I got it if you can find it.
Yeah, I just want to put it on the screen.
Yeah, that's.
Sorry about that, everybody.
Motherfucker tripping.
And it's funny. I wouldn't think it would actually catch up to him, but it did. I'm like,
what I would do? I would kind of do the same thing that I thought when we first started this.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Yep, this is it right here. All right, let me pull it up so y'all can see this real quick. It says John Madden has we could block that, yeah. It says John Madden has an interesting suggestion for NFL teams. It says in this day and age, he said, but the NFL legend believes that Madden NFL series could potentially cross over to an on-the-field product. He says, suggested that teams could use the video game series to prepare for opponents.
And that's how analytics got into the fucking game.
Yeah, this is not good.
I like NBA 2K, but I don't even recommend using NBA 2K to scout teams.
It's the other way around if you're a game.
Well, I can't lie. LeBron says he does it, which is
I can't say that.
Memory, so.
No, but still, honestly, I just can't see how they do it. I don't know.
Version anyway.
He
can't do it on next gen.
Oh wow! But here's the thing with 2K, you have the tools where what's in real life is actually in the game.
Well, they couldn't do it on next gen. So.
In Madden scenario, a team like the Las Vegas Raiders going up against Kansas City will play a video game and simulate going up against opposing offenses and defenses. After playing, teams will review what worked and what didn't in the simulation.
You can't do that because
they can't because you can't because they don't run like they real counterparts.
Exactly. It's not even the execution of the plays. It's literally how they script the plays they call, when they call them. It wouldn't work.
And everything's a dice roll.
This is where it gets more egregious. He said, I will put a couple of young guys that are good Madden players and hire them and put them on my staff. And each week I would have them play our opponent. If the Raiders are playing Kansas City, I would have one of them be the Raiders and one to be Kansas City. And then I will run our plays against their defense and their defense against our plays. And I'll have them check that out and then write up This was good. This was bad. Had trouble with this here and there. I don't know how much I would use it, which was never, but that's what I would do.
Here's a question. They just now fixed deep safeties.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Safeties were fucked up. He doesn't take into account. This isn't your Madden, bro. This isn't Madden 04. This isn't Madden 05.
You know what though?
Different Madden.
Back then, you could have done that.
Do it. Yeah, you could. You can't do it now. Hell no.
Because you know what, defenses play like their counterparts back in those games, and they had different schemes in those games that actually they weren't all the schemes in the game in the NFL, but they had different ones that you could tell if you play against one team and you play against another, it's going to be a different game because they play different. Now it's not like that.
This confirms the fact that he's had nothing to do with the game for years upon years upon years, has no idea what the state of the game is, and they haven't gone to him for any type of, okay, is this how this is supposed to work? Is this how that is supposed to work at any point? So that's just what that confirms for me.
And it's funny because they literally say, yeah, we still talk to Madden.
Full of shit.
Yeah, but I think you guys are exactly right. I don't think that Madden had his hand in this game in probably like 20 years. Like probably, yeah, I think Madden probably had his hand in the game probably around the N64 era, maybe PlayStation 1, maybe early PlayStation 2. I think because you could tell he had his own commentary in Madden 04, which if you ran certain defenses, he'll have his own commentary. I'm gonna have to stream that one day to show y'all what I mean. Like if you ran cover 2 and went into practice, it was a whole setup where Madden would talk about what cover 2 did. Or cover 3, what it did, what cover 1 did.
Remember, if you pressed Ask Madden, he would explain why you're running that play.
Right.
And he'd have it highlighted. Now they don't.
No, it was just Ask Madden would just like Ask Madden would basically say, "Hey, pick this play."
This was supposed to be a semi-roast session. It's really just pissing me off because it's making me think of the days when he clearly did have a hand in the game. And he was explaining why he would run this play, what is supposed to happen on this play. Right. And it was much better when you vocally could hear it, not just some words on the screen. Now they didn't do the words on the screen.
And Pooh is absolutely right. Like nowadays, Ask Madden be picking the wrong shit.
I'll be honest though. Here's one thing I do on Next Gen that kind of gives me a bit more enjoyment. I do go to the coach suggestions now, and believe it or not, they do have some. Really
I will agree. That's not
offense from that, and until I get in a position where I really have to open up the playbook, I literally call my whole offense from the coach suggestions.
That's not just a next gen thing. That's one thing I can say about Madden. When you use coach suggestions, they actually have logical plays to run in certain situations. They've been doing that for a while now, probably at least since Madden 17, and that's no joke. It improved
even more. Like I literally pretty much only use coach suggestions unless it's like a 3rd and 17 or something like that. If it's third,
obviously going to pass, right?
Exactly, but a lot of times, if you use coach suggestions, it actually kind of feels like you're a quarterback. You get 3 plays. I mean, obviously, you could scroll, but it's kind of nice to play like that too. Defensively, I don't do it too much, but offensively, I pretty much primarily use that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Ask Madden probably haven't been really effective since probably like Madden 12, Madden 25 ish, and that was back on the PS3. I'm not talking about the current ones. Like Ask Madden just been almost a death sentence half the time you run those plays.
Yo, I got a story for y'all. So I remember one of the first times I played Madden was at my cousin's house. And his friend was over there, and I'm talking about my grown cousin. Like I was like 12, he's like fucking, like 20, 21. And his boy was over there, and they were playing Madden. So I kept asking, can I play? So I didn't really know much about football, but I would press Ask Madden because it would always tell you the best play to run. I just keep pressing it, right? Bro, I was whooping his ass. He got so bitter. You keep pressing Ask Madden. No, it's easy to beat somebody when you press it. I was like, no, I gotta execute the play too, bro. That's why you don't gotta execute the play.
Right.
In the situation doesn't mean I'm not executing. I have to execute the play too. Bro, he's getting destroyed, yo. How about you getting mad at a little kid? I'm like 12, and you're getting mad at me because you're getting your ass whooped. Like, nah.
Right. Yeah, but Ask Madden used to be effective, but I mean, like the last few years, Ask Madden was like, all right.
It definitely is Ask Madden.
We don't need to ask Madden anymore. Apparently,
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't think they have been asking Madden at all. If you have these type of, if you got this article up here that they're saying that he has a suggestion, like, yo, were you suggesting anything on this game for the past 15, 20 years, sir?
It's crazy. Because I mean, it's so weird. Like I was talking to DJ now. Next gen 2K is starting to catch up with last gen 2K as far as their strategic, how they make adjustments in defending certain players on your team, right? And the issue is, you would think now that they have coach suggestions, a lot of that stuff would be based on info that they get, like what does this team run on second down? Or, like what do they run in 2nd and 5 all last year? What do they run on second down if they had an incompletion of first down? What do they run on 3rd and short, right? And then your coach suggestions should really come from there. Right. Or if you want the defensive side, it should be a suggestion based on what the other team is going to run offensively. But the thing is, when you take all those teacher tools out, the things that teach people football, and you just plain give them football, and here's real football, that's how it gets taken out because there are no tools to make them want to learn.
Right.
If they go into the trainer, which they never advertise, right? I mean, let's be honest. Anything that Madden advertises, the casuals they're gonna automatically gravitate to. If you advertise a training mode, they will gravitate towards that training mode. And you know how you can reward them? You can reward them with their MUT cards if they want. But you should push them towards that training mode, towards that tutorial mode that teaches them football and teaches them why the shit is in the game, why it's important, and how to use those mechanics. And if you did that, I guarantee you, oh, hey, at the end of this tutorial, you get some fucking MUT cards. Everybody would do it that plays MUT. And that would be an easy way to nip this shit in the bud. You'd never have to take it out of the game.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Anything else y'all got before we go? Past the 2-hour mark. I'm going to get ready to close it out. What you got anything, Bills? I mean, DJ?
Nah, nothing else to add.
You got anything, Bills?
No, other than the fact that Houston is my League Pass team this year, I just wanted to shout them out since they have Oladipo now. They're looking pretty good. So
yeah, I'm watching the game right now. It's been sloppy for the last a quarter or so.
Right.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and slide up out of here, man. This has turned out to be a really good episode. Shout out to everybody who got a sub. That was my way of thanking you guys for coming over. This turned out to be a really good episode talking about Kobe, talking about the upcoming Super Bowl, talking about the devs. We talked about a few other things. That's how we always do. Had a few laughs, had a good times. We always do that. I hope you guys come back again on Thursday. We'll be doing another episode. We'll probably touch more into the Madden thing, what he thinks about the players. There's more to that I wouldn't mind talking about just the development of Madden and why it's so out of touch that John Madden had to make that statement, because that like you said, Bills, it's a reason why he made that statement, and it's very telling that he made that statement as well. So we'll probably get into that. Like I said, we're going to be over here on Twitch. I will upload this onto YouTube probably later on tonight. It'll probably go straight over there once we finish here. So if you guys want to watch it again over there, that's great. It's still going to be over here on the VOD on Twitch as well, but it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be on both areas, so you guys can catch that. And it's also going to be everywhere because it's going to be on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Spotify. All that is going to be there. Is going to be there as well. So if you don't want to watch us again, you can listen to us. So I highly recommend any of these avenues, because we always get the great content here. And I guess that's going to be it, man. You guys need to check out these guys' Twitch channels. Evo325, that's DJ's Twitch. Bill's Twitch is JMB3293, which is right there. Since you're already over here on Twitch, you can go over there and follow their channels. Why not? It sounds like a good idea. All right, we're going to slide. I know, right? We're going to slide up out of here, and we're going to get Ghost and Pooh. You in this infatuation with R. Kelly. You need to stop. in prison. But the jokes
Mike,
just keep coming with you, right?
You're already in Philly, so there you go.
Right. All right, y'all. We're going to get up out of here. You guys be easy, be safe. We will see you guys next time. I'll probably be streaming sometime tomorrow. I know DJ's going to be streaming as well, so catch both our channels. Right. So we'll see you guys then. All right. Peace. Thank you, Obi. It was a...
Peace.
Wait a minute. I got a rise out of you. Good night.
Ew.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.